Thanks for tuning into Proline TV for a Monday as we talk PGA Tour golf. What else would we talk about as far as golf is concerned? I guess we could talk about the Live, little LPGA action. And maybe we will in due time, but especially after last week. Unfortunately, the Live wasn't any better. Bryson DeChambeau, what a parlay that would have been. DeChambeau and Scotty Scheffler. But that was last week. We turned the corner to real golf as we have another signature event with the top players in the field. Scotty will not be here. So everybody else pretty much will be tuning up for back-to-back impressive weeks on the PGA Tour with the PGA Championship coming up next week. All right, so speaking of the PGA Championship, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's take an early look ahead in case you want to play some odds on the PGA Championship Futures in case, who knows, maybe you've already done it. Here are the odds right now. Rory and Scotty deservedly tied. Don't forget, Rory's going to a venue where he's won multiple times. It's going to be toughened up, no question. But Rory knows how to win there. Quail Hollow. And again, the Live boys are back. So you got that. You got maybe is Justin Thomas now ready to break out with the monkey off his back? I don't know about that. Because keep in mind, Victor Hovland, we waited for him to get a win. He got it. Oberg's got himself a win this year. Schauffele, maybe he'll get a win this week. Who knows? I mean, he's still waiting for his win, even though he got behind, of course, because of the injury. Morikawa is still looking for that win. Cantley hasn't had one in a while. But that's the field next week, as you can see, for the PGA Championship. And I'm waiting for my pick. Oh, where is he? He still isn't here yet. Wow. There he is. Brian Harman. I think Brian Harman is gearing up for another major win this season. And I think the way he's playing right now, I like him this week because I think his odds are ridiculously high and I'm jumping all over him. But I think next week, I think it's a good chance, again, as well, catch him while he's hot and while the odds are ridiculously high. That's what I say. So yeah, so Brian Harman is definitely one of my picks. As far as, Justin Rose is also a bargain at 100-1. You have to take Justin right now. I think this week will tell us a lot, though. But look, you're not going to risk much by taking Justin at 100-1. So I still think you should go down that road. Don't forget, Justin didn't just have the Masters. What did he have here? Justin this season, I think I have it here, also was 8th at Bay Hill and 3rd at Pebble. So come on. He's had two really good signature event finishes and, of course, the Masters playoff. And you're getting 100-1. Let's see. I think Jason could be interesting at 80-1. Jason, I believe, has a win at Quail Hollow. I'll have to check that. Does Jason Day have a win at Quail Hollow? Let me see. What says, check that out. Who else looks pretty good here? Corey Connors at 70. You can get Corey Connors at 70. That's nice. I like that. We've seen him like this week down to 30. By the way, Jason Day did win at Quail Hollow back in 2018. I think that's his only win there. Russell Henley is also 70. He had a very disappointing Masters. A lot of us thought that he was going to show up. Nope, didn't. So you're getting a good number now because of it. Straka could be dangerous at 65-1. Keep an eye on him this week. That's still a good number. I have no idea. Why is Finau so low here? Matsuyama's putter is just gone. Yeah. Burns and Spieth, we'll see what they do this week. I think this is a big week for both of them because they're really trending in the right direction. They got to keep that up. Cam, I like Cam at 40 or 50. I don't know if I'd take him at 35. I think you can get him 40 or 50, depending on what sports book you have. Came at a good week a couple of weeks ago, but it's still not have the season that he's hoping for. Otherwise, it's too late to take any futures on any of these other players because of the fact that it is only a week away. Okay, that's the Truist Championship. Now, this is not the Wells Fargo. This is not Quail Hollow, obviously, because Quail Hollow will be renting out their facilities for the PGA Championship next week. We get an opportunity to play this week at a new golf course. And this is awesome. Anytime we get a chance to play in these new courses we haven't seen before ever, that's great, especially because they're talking it up. As a handicapper, though, very, very difficult. Trying to figure out, because you don't have any historical stats here. You don't know what you're going on. You can't tell me you know what you're going on amateur playing or senior tours or LPGA or any of those types of levels of play. It's not the PGA Tour. It's not a PGA Tour setup. We don't know. But what we do know, by the way, it's the Philadelphia Cricket Club, and it's Wissahickon. That's how they pronounce it, Wissahickon. That's the golf course. It's only a par 71, about 7,100 yards. It's pretty small. It's pretty short. Now, what you have to do, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research on Sunday, tiny bit today, but a lot of research on Sunday, trying to figure out, because you're not going to get the assistance of the typical way that you have handicapping tools where you find your correlated courses, the statistics in general. I know I've got some. I'm going to put them up there on the screen a little bit on the Fantasy National, but it makes it a lot harder, a little bit of a guesswork. But what you find out is it's a lot of bunkers. There's a lot of talk that the designer and the way they put this course together, it's like a shot maker's course. The fairways are tighter. So, there's ball striking, I think, is going to come into play without question. I think scrambling, sand saves are going to come into play because, again, you're going to have tons of bunkers. And this is going to be a shot. I think it's going to be a creative shot maker's course. This is my guess. And I think a lot of us are guessing. So this is what I'm doing when I put my little formula together, my model, my golf model. That is definitely how I am going to be putting in my guesswork. There's varying slopes on the fairways. There's undulating greens. So it's a very creative golf course. That's what I'm saying. I think you have to be a creative golfer. You have to be good at scrambling, blah, blah, blah. And also because it's a shorter course, you definitely need to have a little bit of accuracy off the tees because it is not going to be like we saw last week on the PGA Tour. That is for sure. Okay. Let's take a look at it. There, by the way, of course, are the odds. See, this is the difference between, just to me, just crazy. Last week at Scotty Scheffler, it was about what, 3-1 favorite. And you saw the field last week. There wasn't a field. I don't even know who was like the next ranked player because he was, of course, number one. I don't remember who was the next ranked player, but there wasn't any of this. You didn't get any of these players. I mean, let me see here in this field just quickly. See if I could find the first player. There's Spieth. And we know Jordan. We know where his game's been. I'm hoping the way he's playing that he is ready to win a big one. But we have Spieth. I don't see another one yet. Burns, who, by the way, we give it a little hint. Those are two of our picks. Yeah, I mean, look at this. There's just so what I'm getting to is Spieth 3-1, and the next player last week was, what was he? I think I have it here. 18-1. So you're telling me that and that was Jordan Spieth, 18-1. So what you're telling me is Rory is like 4-1, and he's got almost as big as a gap when the players that are, right, like 1-2 Morikawa, Schauffele, Oberg, JT. I mean, are you kidding me? There is no way Rory McIlroy should be favored by this much. I don't care how great he's playing. I mean, seriously, what do you think is happening in Rory's mind? He wins the biggest event of his life. He takes a couple of weeks off. And now he's preparing for what? The Truist Championship, a golf course he's never seen before? No. He's getting ready for the PGA because he knows Quail Hollow, and that is in his mind. Hey, if I win Quail Hollow, or I've won before, and I can go 2 for 2 in majors, I mean, what kind of a year could I have? How awesome could this potentially be for me? So I'm just going to have a much harder time this week with Rory than last week with Scheffler, because again, not only the field, but Scotty was desperate for a win. And he was on a ridiculous golf course. It was like an NFL player playing against college football players. It was just ridiculous. And a college football course. It was ridiculous. I mean, you understand what I'm trying to get at. So I just don't see it this week. I don't think we're going to see Rory winning right after winning the Masters and a week before, even though Rory does a really good job prior to majors. Now, this is important, okay, because we talked about this, obviously, already before the Masters. In the last 22 events prior to majors, 10 winners of the 22 were major winners. It was 9, and then Brian Harman won to make it 10. 3 had some sort of hometown connection. McIntyre winning the Scottish Open, Jordan winning in Texas, and Taylor winning in Canada. The other 9 were big long shots. Now, the average of those were 121.7. Difference is we're not in a just average type of 140 field event with a bunch of players, and there's only maybe 5 or 10 real players, and the rest of the field are just others because it's a week before a major and everybody wants to gear up and rest. No, this is a signature event. So I don't like the way they do this personally. I think it's crazy to put these big events back to back. I mean, spread it out a little bit. I'd much rather see the major, any other event, and then put the signature event, or vice versa, signature event, any other event, major. Give our fans, spread it out. But it is what it is. So we have a major again, signature event before a major. So this is what we're dealing with here. So just keep in mind that the thing I'd really look at more than anything, though, because it's a signature event, is based on that, I think we're going to end up seeing a good player win here. And so that's where the major comes in. And I don't know if are any of these players from Philly? Because if they are, if you know of anybody out from Philly, I'll put it in the comments section. If there's anybody in the Philly area, maybe South Jersey, that kind of area, Delaware, let us know, because maybe that's a player we should put a couple of bucks on too. Okay. Let's go ahead and pop up our model. Okay, so thanks to Fantasy National. We'll have a link in the description. This is my model. And we're going to go on the last 12 rounds, okay? So big surprise, you got Rory McIlroy there. But we are not going to take Rory, not only because I think it's real tough for him to win this week, but also he's only 4-1. There's no value there. Just like Scheffler last week, there's just no value. Because if you look at it, look, the only way you're going to win in those situations is if you get lucky and you only take, like Scotty or Rory, a couple of times a year when they're 3 or 4-1, and you happen to hit. So maybe if you end up like at least, I don't know, 35 or 40%, or close to 50 is really what you have to hit. Because if you're like 25% hitting them at 3 or 4-1, you're not making any money. You might even be losing money. So it's kind of hard to make money picking those guys. Okay. So since we're not doing that, let's take, let's pop up. Let me go ahead and pop up the picks because I haven't even set that up. So here are my picks. I'll move this into frame. And here are the stats that you see on the right. of the board at Fantasy National. Okay. So as you can see, Spieth is the lowest number at 25. Everybody else is 40 to 1 or higher. Okay. So as far as the board goes, there you go. I went with ball striking, strokes gained approach. I know, boring. Bogey avoid, boring. But greens and regulations, probably also boring. I really think these are the two key ones here, to tell you the truth. Like I said, with the shot making, I really do believe this is going to be important this week. And I say bogey avoiding because I will tell you this, and this is what I was getting to as well. I think there's a little bit of a kind of poor man's U.S. Open look to it, of this golf course. And that's what I think we're going to see. I really do. Look, if the winning score is 18 under, then I'm going to be completely wrong. Chances are I'm not picking the winner. Chances are. I think I have a really good chance of picking the winner if the winning score is somewhere like around 12 under, maybe 14 at the most. Then I think I have a chance because I do believe this is going to be a tough golf course. And maybe 14 might even be high. I think this is going to be a tough golf course. So again, whether it's because of especially with the different places that they're going to have these bunkers, very abnormal places compared to where you see the setups for bunkers, on tour. Again, the fact that it's a smaller course, it's a tighter course, so it's not what, and that's what U.S. Opens play at. Some U.S. Opens will play. Matter of fact, I think the ones that I looked at the most, not that you can gauge off of it too much, is Marion in 2013 and Oakmont in 2016. If you want to put them into play, but I just can't do that. Correlated courses and all. Okay, so I tell you what, Tom Hoge really sticks out. Look at this. Now, when I moved it down to 8 rounds, because I've got the last 12 rounds here, if I would have moved this down to 8, Hoagie's first in scrambling and sand saves. I mean, that is pretty impressive. Okay, now it's just the last 8 rounds, but first in both. And Hoge, too, if you take a look at Hoge, and we've grabbed him a few times lately, the model is also strong overall because, again, this is the 12-round model. Let me because I'm pretty sure I think we started at 24. Did we start at 24? I'll double check that. I think we did. Where's Tom? Okay, Tom is maybe there he is. 30. We started at 24 because that's usually where you want to start. 24 rounds. All right, and this is okay. Nothing wrong with being 30. It's not a big field, so it's just average. Okay. But that's why I like to start off at 24 and then immediately I'm going to go to either 12 or 8. Because now I want to see, are they improving? 24 is, it's a nice gauge. You see how they're playing over months. But 12, now we're starting to get towards potentially, month, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, that kind of deal. And I think that makes it a little bit better. And then even if you get to 8, I think is really the highlight because it's getting close now. 4 might be 4 is too close. I'll judge 4. I think judging 4 is pretty good because you want to say, hey, somebody, maybe they're hot. Maybe they've gone from 24 to 12 to 8 to 4, and you can notice that. And that's right there in front of you because sometimes you can go 24, 12, 8, and then the last 4, though, has gone the other way. That means the momentum has stopped. That's important to see. So I think it's important to just check it out for that sake. But that's why 8 is a little bit better. It's a little bit more truer if you're just taking a look at someone, if they're hot coming in. And again, if you look at here, there he is. Hoagie's first, sand saves and scrambling in the last 8 rounds. Shane Lowry, someone that was just missed out. He was one of those last, I had 5 that missed out. He was one of them. But Sam Burns, I'm going with Sam, as you saw. is my top pick. And I mentioned this last week, or last week, where he started to finally show something. The 13th was at RBC. That was a good start. And he follows it up with a 5th last week. So he keeps getting better. And the model, here's a sign. The model, he was 65th, 24 rounds. He's now down to 14th in the last 4 rounds. That's what I'm saying. He's really starting to get it now. And also, he's second in the putting model. Bent grass, keep in mind, bent grass greens, he's second in the last 12 rounds. And he's also, as you can see here, very solid scrambling and sand saves. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there with Sam Burns. The only thing that would concern me is just, again, if this plays really tough, that hasn't been the thing that Sam Burns has excelled at. But I don't think we're going to be talking about it being really tough. I would doubt that. I'd be a little bit surprised. And the weather is not going to be, there's not going to be like these big winds of 15 and 20 mile an hour gusts or anything like that. Matter of fact, there's going to be some, right now, still a few days out. They're expecting some thunderstorms late Thursday. Hopefully it'll be when the first round's over. And that'll lead to showers, nearly 50% chance all day Friday. But I don't see thunderstorms. So fingers crossed, we get through the 4 days without any stoppages. We can deal with showers. And another reason that you might want to take a look at someone like Lowry, who can deal in that kind of weather. Okay, so there you go. There's Burns. Now, Novak is another player that we just have to take. I mean, look how hot this kid is. And I know he's going to win this year. The other player that I predicted to win his first event, I'm not going to hit, it looks like, and that's Bo Hostler. But I've got to hit Novak. I mean, look at him. In his last 2 events, he's finished 3rd and 2nd. You see there, right? That's the model for eight rounds. Where is he? It's 4th, 8 rounds. And in his putting has gotten better, basically, of the last several months. 12 rounds, 23rd. 8 rounds, 15th. 4 rounds, 7th. So he's getting better and better. Bent grass greens every 4 rounds. And also very good there, scrambling and sand saves. So I think Novak, look, how hard is it to go 3rd, 2nd, 1st? I mean, only the great players do that, right? So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned with that, but you are getting 60 to 1. So we're not talking about a 30 to 1 player here. I think it's a guy that you have to take at 60 to 1. And I don't think a sports book is going to screw you with odds much less than that. And there's my guy, Brian Harman. All right. And as you can see there, the thing that really sticks out for me is how in the world is this guy still 70 to 1? And you're still getting 80 to 100 to 1 next week. So in the model, as you can see here, is 10th, the 8 rounds, in the last 8 rounds. He was 23rd, 24 rounds. The putting is the one thing that he's just been up and down lately. So it's still a little off. It's the one part of his game that I think is like going to hold him back from winning one of these next 2 weeks, because I'm already taking him next week. The only way I would potentially not even think of taking him is if something happens this week that is just so ridiculously bad. But real good on the sand saves and the scrambling coming in. 3rd at RBC. Of course, 1 not too long ago. So, yeah, I'm all on top of Brian Harman right now. And I know some of it has to do with the fact that I hit him when he won his Open Major Championship. And, yeah, I mean, look, he won a major in the signature event prior to the Masters. We'll see if he can go 2 for 2 here. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Wyndham Clark. So you can see the best for Wyndham out of these 6 right here. Maybe the 2 that are the most important, potentially. And what I like about Wyndham is, I mean, the odds are okay. I don't think I'm getting a break with the odds at 45 to 1. But with Wyndham, there are signs that he's showing that there's something potentially there that he could put it all together in 1 week. And that's what you're looking for, especially when you're getting 45 to 1. He's only had one top 5, by the way, since last year's PGA Championship. So trust me, this isn't one of them that I'm like, oh, taking Clark and Spieth to me, those are the 2 trickiest ones because they're major winners. They have that great pedigree, but it's like you get frustrated by them because they haven't yet put it together. And when you take them, they frustrate you because it's like, all right, is this the week? I'm gonna risk some of my own hard-earned cash on them, and then they don't come through, and it's infuriating sometimes because you know that they can do it. You know they're gonna do it. You want them to do it when you pick them. So with Clark, the thing that I noticed is in the model, the last 12 rounds, he's 20th. Okay. Here, not so good, 46th, but this is 8. And the putting, 18th, last 8 rounds. So even though he's 46th here in the last 8 rounds in the model, his putting is much better in the last 8 rounds. And again, here in the last 8 rounds, this is pretty decent. But what we want is better than this. He's not going to win this week unless he does even better than this. So that's what we're gambling with, is that he will put it together and be better than this. Don't forget, he was just 5th, though. Remember I said he had 1 top 5 since the PGA last year? Well, that was just a few events ago. I think it was in Houston. So it has happened recently. And then he did not have a bad showing. I think over at the RBC, I believe he had a top 30. And then here's Spieth. And look at that. Look at this for Spieth here. All across the board here. Second, this is just 8 rounds though, but that's good because he is starting to get better and better and better. Just look at him over the last 4 events, all top 20s, 4th at the joke of a golf course last week, yesterday. The thing that's holding him back though is the putting. That is what's holding Jordan back. And if Jordan can get the putting going, if he can just have a good week putting based on everything else, he keeps doing what he's doing. He keeps just, progressively getting better with everything else. And the putter works, he's going to win. And that's what you want. When you're gambling on a player, that's what you want. You basically want to know. Now, I think I want a little bit better than 25 to 1. I mean, I do. I'd really still rather have about 30, maybe even 35, because he hasn't won in a while. And it's not like he's even though he finished, 4th Sunday, it wasn't like, he was like 10 back or whatever it was. So he hasn't been on top of the leaderboard, fighting for a win in a long time. So it's been a while. That's why I think I want more than 25 to 1. But there's a lot to like. Again, he's also a major winner. Again, the key is the putter. That's what's really holding him back. Okay, what else? By the way, Alex Norman should be back from what I hear, which is great news. We haven't seen Alex in a long time, since October or something like that. So, and he was playing pretty well the last time we saw him. So we're all happy to have him back. Keith Mitchell's interesting because look at this. The numbers are pretty nice. But the thing that just sticks out for Keith, there's 2 key things. One is the putter. The putter, not good. 2, coincidentally, is the fact that he can't close. He's not good on Sundays. So if you're not good on Sundays and the putter ain't working for you, that's just a terrible combination. But when you take a look at his game, he has improved result-wise each event over the last 5. In the last 3, he went from 18th to 12th to 2nd. The 2nd was the correlated course from the RBC a couple of weeks ago. But that's, tell you what, that is still, really impressive. The model's nice, as you can see there. The problem is the putter. And the odds on him over at DraftKings is only 60 to 1. My book has 90. That's where he should be. In this field, he's got to be 90. There's no way I would advise anybody to take Keith Mitchell in this field at 60 to 1. 90? Yeah. Why not throw a buck on him? Here's Berger. Now, Berger, as you can see, yeah, you know what? Let me see here. Let me get this going back this way. Okay. Berger is 5th in this situation, the last 8 rounds. We're still in the last 8. And look, he's been real solid. The two things that are not exactly, this is just average. So that's okay. Everything else here is good. But what you got to like about Berger is he's also trending in the right direction. He's coming up a third at RBC a few weeks ago. That's really impressive. So the model's nice. The putter, that's kind of been holding him back a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we're all waiting now for Daniel Berger to win. He's going to win real soon. The quicker he can do it, the better the year he can have. So this is a good week, I think, to take him, which we have. We did not go with Connors, but I think Connors is also a player to keep an eye on. He's 30-1, so that's kind of the reason we passed on him. There were some other options that we definitely preferred to go with. He's coming off his first non-top 20, that as well. That was a 49th at RBC in a limited field, so that's not very good. But Corey's just had a really solid season. I argued this early on in the season, along with Brady, about how important it was for when you're taking a look and deciding what to do with Corey, is that his odds needed to be where I think they belonged, better at, which we started to see early in the season around on a regular week. 50-1, 60-1, big field, major, 80-1, that kind of stuff. And that's all of a sudden what happened. We saw the change. And I was like, great, this is where it should be. Now we can take Corey. And he started playing good. All right, we're still getting a decent odds. But now that he started to play really well, now the odds are dropping again to 30-1-ish range. I still think he's okay. If you want to go down that route, I would not balk at it. I think he's playing just as good as a lot of other players here, even better than some of the ones that have lower odds than he does. I just still want a little bit better odds in this type of field than 30-1, personally, which is why I just knocked him out at the last second. Straka, another player I knocked out at the last second, and this was why. I did not like this. This is the thing that really affected me more than anything. But again, you have to nitpick when you can't take everybody. And look at Straka in these big events this year. 13th RBC, 14th Players, 5th Bay Hill, 7th Pebble. Of course, he won Amex, but that's an easy course. Again, so the model looks good. The playing has been really good. There's a lot to like about Straka. And you're getting decent odds at 40-1. So I think Straka is a good play, but we just nitpicked them with the scrambling and sand saves to knock him out on our picks. But if you want to take Straka, I think that's a good idea. Siwoo is another one that we decided to go against at the last minute, just like Eric Cole. And really for Siwoo, again, compared to these stats, these aren't the best, but he is playing his best golf that we've seen in a year or so, with the 15th last week and the 8th the week before that. Really could have won RBC, poor Sunday, but the model's nice. The putting, not so. That's the thing that's also kind of holding it back. So that's why it was easy for us to knock him out at the last second, because of the sand saves, the scrambling, and the putter. But still, somebody was right there. Eric Cole. I just don't know if Eric Cole is ready to win a big event like this, but we do like him. We liked him last week. We picked him. He had a good week. Matter of fact, he finished 5th, and he is trending in the right direction. Matter of fact, he has 5 straight top 30s, and he was real hot, a year and a half ago. Calmed down for the past year, but now he's picking it up again. So he's got 5 straight top 30s. He has the 5th coming in from Sunday. The putter is really going right now. The model's nice. There's a lot to like about Eric Cole this week. A lot. The odds are big, 100-1. So, I mean, I'm putting money on him, but I just can't take everybody for the show. But again, the last thing for me that was the deciding factor was just the fact I don't know if he can win an event, a signature event on the PGA Tour, because he hasn't won a PGA Tour event yet. And I don't know if he can win a signature event to break his maiden. Rose, we also did not pick this week. And the reason we did not pick Rose this week was, if you can see right about here. So his scrambling and sand saves, not particularly good. Even the bogey avoidance, which is not a big deal. But again, I kind of put it there because if it is going to be a tough golf course, like I think it can be, I wanted to put that stat in there. But yeah, Justin was somebody that just did not make our cut. But we definitely have him in play next week. And really what I want to see from Justin this week, I like to see at least like a top 20 would be nice, since he did not come through at all at RBC, which is not surprising. The week after the Masters, I'd like to see him kind of get going a little bit here. And I don't think he's a bad play either, even though we just missed not putting him in our picks, because he's 65-1. And so I still think he's a pretty solid play. And let's see, Fleetwood. There's Fleetwood. Yeah, where do we have Fleetwood? Okay, yeah, because he was also really close to making our list. Just trying to see. I think we've gone through everybody. Yeah, I think we went through everybody. So Tommy was another one of the last 5 that we did not go with, and really, boy, with Tommy, it's just there are a few reasons. I think the odds are okay at 28-1. He is trending in the right direction. 7th last time we've seen him. The model's okay. The putting recently is okay. So there's okay. I mean, maybe this is the week for Tommy. And that's the thing, though. I think some people, I know Jared Smola, who will join me next week to preview the PGA Championship, is like he's already given up on Tommy, not going to do it. And this was a year ago. And he's, as long as you're still keeping that, I don't know if he still kept it, but if he did, then he's right. And that's the kind of thing you kind of feel after a while. Maybe I should just wait till he wins, because how many times have we taken him and he still hasn't won a PGA Tour event? So it's kind of hard, especially when your odds are as low as his are. I mean, maybe you get lucky and on a given week and you see 40, that's different. But you're only getting between 25 and 30, it seems, with Tommy, and those odds are low. And if you keep taking them and thinking, oh, this is the week, but he's like one of the best players in the world that has yet to win a PGA Tour event. He might be the best who have never won a PGA Tour event. Let's see. Again, like I said, Lowry, one of the last ones that we just knocked out. Michael Kim not playing as good as he did earlier in this season. I think he's gone 5 straight now without a top 20. Now there's Jason Day. I believe he's the last one that we haven't talked about. Yeah, I mean, there's some hits and misses here along the model, but what kind of did it for us with Jason, there were a few things. And if you look at some of the weeks he's had this week, he was good at the Masters, obviously. He also had a good week at Bay Hill. But we kind of just decided, look, he is a major winner, and he is also someone that actually played well at both Marion and Oakmont. And I kind of want to give him the shot. And because just in case that does come into play, the number's nice. What is the number? I think it's 50-1. It's a good number. But he's not anywhere near the level of play that we know he could still be. He's still in the prime of his career. He hasn't been banged up lately. That's been a thing that's really stunted his career. But he hasn't been banged up lately. So at some point, and maybe it's still got time this season, if he can get going, then we know the game's there. We've seen it. So it's just a matter of whether or not he can put it together while he's healthy. But yeah, this is a little bit of a, that's why he wasn't like one of my top picks. I think he was, 7th out of 8. And there you go. Okay. So that's what we got for you today. And next week, it's going to be the PGA Championship. And we are going to be here along with Jared Smola. I'm not sure when we're going to do it. I promised I was going to do these on Monday. And here we are putting this all together so we can get an early start for you so you can figure out what to do this week. If you have any questions or comments, and if I can't answer them, I've got a couple of analysts. I've got a Hall of Fame golfer and Jan Stevenson I could turn to. So you got questions, comments about anything. See if I can answer it. If I can't, I have some people I can turn to see if they can answer it regarding the event this week or anything else that's on your mind. Of course, just put it in the comment section. And we want you to subscribe. That's the big deal here that can help us out to support the channel. And of course, you'll never miss one of our shows. Things have been going really good for the channel lately. Of course, we hit Rory at the Masters. We just came off with John Hardoon picking the winner of the Kentucky Derby. We'll talk more horse racing in a couple of days. We got the Preakness in a couple of weeks to talk about. Second leg of the Triple Crown. We hit with Florida in the National Championship. That was our top pick going into the NCAA tournament. Not in the Final Four, not in the championship game, but that was our outright pick before the whole thing started. So we're coming in with that and more. I mean, we've had a very, very good run. Things have been going really good for us here on the channel. And while we're hot, hopefully we can keep things going here. Hey, if we can get one over the next couple of weeks, that'd be great, being that all the best players are around this week and next week. So again, thanks for tuning in here on Proline TV, and we'll see you next time.